This is a pretty great deal for John Force. Well, welcome to another episode of Gearhead Man. I'm Mark, your host. And this episode, this is kind of an update on John Force. It took place at the Nationals, and Ron Capps came out to say a few things to the media in an interview about John Force and how he respects him and misses him and can't wait to see him back at the track again. So I took away a good positive feeling about how people feel about John out there in the racing world. But I guess we already knew that. Everybody, you can't help, even if you've been beat by John a million times, you still respect him. I know I would, and I do. So let's take a look at this media piece I found, and we'll go from there after it's over. All right.
NHRA legend gives emotional tribute to John Force at U.S. Nationals, the end of an era. Few names resonate as profoundly in motorsports as John Force. This year, the U.S. Nationals at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, sponsored by Toyota, hold a bittersweet note as it coincides with Force's sad absence. The event, a prelude to the countdown, is without Force due to a traumatic brain injury he sustained in a near-fatal accident near Richmond, Virginia. John Force, a titan of the drag racing world, has left an indelible mark on the U.S. Nationals, clinching 5 Funny Car victories and competing a staggering 43 times. His presence has been a constant at what he once described as the biggest drag race in the world. This year, however, his peak Chevy Camaro is under the capable hands of 2012 Funny Car champion, Jack Beckman, as Force focuses on recovery. The absence of the racer has echoed throughout the racing community, with fellow racer Ron Capps expressing a poignant acknowledgement of Force's impact. Already we're getting a glimpse of NHRA without John Force, Capps reflected via AutoWeek. Throughout history, we've had these heroes/icons of the sport that have pretty much carried the sport through certain periods of its time, going way back. And certainly, when you look back years from now, you're going to see that Snake and the Mongoose and Don Garlits and the Greek, Chris Karamesines, and the Ace, you're just talking about all the people that have had a stamp on NHRA's history. It's hard to top what John Force has done, and it's very strange not having him around at the racetrack, for me, especially, as tight as we've been and how much he's meant to me as a person on and off the racetrack. But, he's a foe, as well. It's been some unbelievable matchups. Every time we come up, it's interesting to hear the people on TV talk about how many times we've met before, whether it's a final round or for championships or just head-to-head. It's a lot. So we hope to have him back. Capps, deeply influenced by Force both on and off the track, shared his anticipation for Force's return, prioritizing his friend's health above all. Everyone's on pins and needles, just wondering when he'll get back out, he added. But for me, it's going to be a great sight the first time we have him back at the racetrack, whether it's just hanging out or riding around on the scooter and coming up and talking to me on a Friday before our first qualifying run. Stepping into Force's shoes, Jack Beckman is optimistic about making a strong showing at this year's Nationals. Reflecting on the last U.S. Nationals he raced in 2020, Beckman recalled, "There were 4 national events at Indy but only 1 U.S. Nationals, and I left with the trophy." Fast-forwarding to today, he's piloting what he considers the baddest race car in the pits, aiming to clinch a victory as a tribute not just to his capabilities but to his legendary car owner, John Force. While the racing team carries on, the void left by Force's absence is palpable. His storied career and personal battle with his recent health challenges have left everyone rooting for not just his recovery but also a celebratory return. As this season's U.S. Nationals unfold without one of its most celebrated champions, we'll make sure we spare a thought for one of the greats and his quick recovery.
That was pretty cool about Ron Capps and all those great things he said about John. I am blown away with Ron. I knew he was a a class act NHRA driver. I've met him too, and he's always impressed me as a straight shooter and a very respectful man, and a love of the sport and love of John Force and what John has done for NHRA and for the sport. Pretty cool deal. But I'm waiting for a health update about John. I really wish John Force Racing, Brittany or Courtney or Ashley or someone would come up and give us an update, or just the media team at John Force Racing, just give us some kind of update. Maybe share some photos of his recovery and how he's doing at home. I would love to see that. I'd love to hear more about that. I really do. Alright, that's all I have on this episode. Please leave your comments below, all your love for John and what you think of that clip, that media piece out at the Nationals. I'd love to hear what you have to think about it. Alright, again, thanks for everyone for watching and viewing all my episodes and supporting the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, it doesn't cost anything to join. Just hit that red subscribe button and definitely hit the bell icon, so when I post anything about John or what if video on those cars that are being talked about that might be coming back, or anything else I happen to post on, or even if it's a short, anything I post on the channel, you get a notification on. Alright, thanks everyone. Alright, everyone have a great week, and we'll see you next episode.